routine bites high, and ambitions are low, and resentment rides high, but emotions won't grow, and we're changing our ways, taking different roads. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Why is the bedroom so cold? You turn away on your side. Is my timing not flawed? Our respect runs so dry. Yet there's still this appeal that we've kept you alive. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Fly out in your sleep, all my failings exposed. There's a taste in my mouth as desperation takes hold. Just that something so good just can't function no more. Love will tear us apart again. 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 Check out some other like immersions or subscribe to be the first to see them every week.
make it. Every day's a brand new episode on the Glover Show.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up, Twitch? What up, Larry? What up, Tinker? What up, Cosmic? What up, bots? What up, lurkers? What up, Stampy? What up, Tiny People? Imma Chatterino? What up, Ribbons? It's your boy. It's your boy. Yeah, Larry. all, all I can think of is I'm pretty sure they were political ads for PP, and he was eating an apple. I like them apples. Ah. Stampy's here. Stampy's here. All right, you got your snacks. You can leave. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Yeah, congrats to Canada. Of course he did. I like them apples too. Oh, hilarious. Hilarious. All right, so my boy who does the Amazon fulfillment stuff was like, "Hey, Amazon's gonna do a thing," and I was like, "Wow, that is a very political act." And then this came up, so we're going to talk about this briefly. Ugh. You say the price of my love is not a price that you're willing to pay. Larry, big Larry in the house, 8 months with the Prime, with them Bezos bucks. Speaking of Bezos, we're having fun. We're having fun. White House blasts hostile Amazon over tariff cost report. Company downplays change. The White House on Tuesday slammed Amazon for reportedly planning to display the costs of President Donald Trump's tariffs next to the total price of products on its site. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters. What up, Stoicite? Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? Because it's not a tariff. She added, this is another reason why Americans should buy American. Shares of the online retail giant founded by Jeff Bezos dropped more than 2% in pre market trading immediately following the remarks. An Amazon spokesman told CNBC later Tuesday morning that the company was only ever considering listing tariff charges on some products for Amazon Haul, its budget focused shopping section. The team that runs our ultra low cost Amazon Haul store has considered listing import charges on certain products. This was never a consideration for the main Amazon site, and nothing has been implemented on any Amazon property. And here's Carolyn Levitt with a picture of Jeff Bezos. Oh, so yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. And in other, I've got some tariff related news that's kind of personal. Uh, Here we go. Remove this. Funny, I don't remember Republicans saying this when DoorDash started displaying a new individual cost when they were forced to start paying their drivers a little more fairly. It's only funny when I do it. So, y'all know that board games are near and dear to my heart, and in other tariff related news, tabletop game companies sue Trump to stop tariffs. What up, Barrow? A group of tabletop game makers and other American small businesses are filed the lawsuit. They are filed the lawsuit. It's a proofread. All you got to do is just read the article and read it out loud, because when you read it out loud and you run into our file the lawsuit, you'll understand exactly how you made an error. It's easy. So a group of tabletop game makers and other American small businesses are filed a lawsuit on Thursday uh, against President Donald Trump and his administration to attempt to stop tariffs. The lawsuit alleges tariffs are unlawful and unconstitutional, and details how they are creating challenges to the plaintiff's businesses. Excuse me. What up, Rusty Tay? Don't even need to read it out loud. Word processors catch these grammar mistakes as soon as they're written. I mean, apparently not, baby. The tabletop companies, which are among the plaintiffs in this case, include Stonemaier Games. Now, yesterday, Reed asked me about my 5 top favorite games, and one of them I mentioned was a game called Wingspan. Wingspan with the birds. That's Stonemaier Games. Stonemaier Games are, in my opinion, the best company, because, like, I have never had a bad time playing a Stonemaier game. They are top notch. Um, so if you see something with the Stonemaier label on it, know that I recommend it. You'll have a good time. Spielcraft Games, Rookie Mage Games, XYZ Game Labs, and Tinker House. The 145% tariffs imposed on goods imported from China are a significant part of the burden, as spelled out in examples in the lawsuit. Um, Spielcraft Games has paid $4,335.40 in tariffs for a board game set that it imported from China this month. Rookie Mage Games, 31.20 and 80 cents. XYZ Game Labs, substantial tariffs. Tinker House, tabletop role playing game accessory, and the company has made a down payment. The company estimates it will have to pay substantial tariffs on when it imports the accessory later this year. So this is the thing about board gaming. Board gaming is not a, like, you know, fucking, like Monopoly and all those standard games, right? those you might be able to make some money on through mass production and everything else. Other board games, the profits are very limited, and you don't make board games because you're going to be rich. You make board games because you want to make board games. Fucking during the pandemic, one of these um board game makers, GMT games, during the pandemic, um actually gave free board games to its customers. If you had bought a game from them, they were happy to send you another one for free. Like, who does that? They were just trying to, like, we understand shit's tough. Play a fucking board game. You're stuck in your house, play a board game. So, like, GMT and Stonemaier and others, but like those are the two names that come to mind. What up, Michael? What up, Ghost? Alternatively, if you don't like reading aloud, you can use ChatGPT to read it to you. Something tells me that The Verge doesn't like AI in that way. It's hit or miss. I will say this about The Verge. It's hit or miss. Impeach! How dare he touch my hobby? Impeach! This effing sucks. True. I didn't care until it became personal. Oh. All right. Let's talk AI and technology and whatnot. Wired. AI is using your likes to get inside your head. Why is this behind a paywall? Why is this hyperbolic headline lead me to a site with an article that's behind a paywall? I wonder if there's any reason for that, said sarcastically. Liking features on social media can provide troves of data about human behavior to AI models and not AI models. But as AI gets smarter, will it be able to know users' preferences before they do? What is the future of the like button in the age of artificial intelligence? Max Levchin, the PayPal co founder and Affirm CEO, sees a new and hugely valuable role for liking data to train AI to arrive at conclusions more in line with those a human decision maker would make. The well known, this fucking guy. It's a well known quandary in machine learning that a computer presented with a clear reward function will engage in relentless reinforcement learning to improve its performance and maximize that reward. But that this optimization path often leads to AI systems to very different outcomes than would result from humans exercising human judgment. To introduce a corrective force, AI developers frequently use what is called reinforcement learning with human feedback. Essentially, they are putting a human thumb on the scale as the computer arrives at its model by training it on data reflecting real people's actual preferences. But where does that human preference data come from, and how much of it is needed for the input to be valid? So far, this has been the problem with RLHF. Costly method if it requires hiring human supervisors and annotators to enter feedback. And of course, we've already covered on more than one occasion how the annotators tend to be in the global south and tend to get paid poorly. And this is the problem that Levchin thinks could be solved by the like button. He views the accumulated resource that today sits in Facebook's hands as a godsend to any developer wanting to train an intelligent agent on human preference data. And how big a deal is that? I would argue that one of the most valuable things Facebook owns is that mountain of liking data. I wonder if Facebook is aware, or I wonder if Meta is aware how valuable that data is. I'm going to go with yes. Indeed, at this inflection point in the development of artificial intelligence, having access to what content is liked by humans to use for training of AI models is probably one of the singularly most valuable things on the internet. While Levchin envisions AI learning from human preferences through the like button, AI is already changing the way these preferences are shaped in the first place. In fact, social media platforms are actively using.
I don't know who I am anymore. I'm getting too much money.
Elio, sure. Thank you for the biddies, homie. In fact, social media platforms are actively using AI not just to analyze likes, but to predict them, potentially rendering the button itself obsolete. This was a striking observation for us because, as we talk to most people, the predictions mostly came from another angle, describing not how the like button would affect the performance of AI, but how AI would change the world of the like button. Already, we heard AI is being applied to improve social media algorithms. Early in 2024, for example, Facebook experimented with using AI to redesign the algorithm that recommends Reels videos to users. Could it come up with a better weighting of variables to predict which video a user would most like to watch next? The result of this early test showed that it could. Applying AI to the task paid off in longer watch times, the performance metric Facebook was hoping to boost. When we asked YouTube co founder Steve Chen what the future holds for the like button, he said, I sometimes wonder whether the like button will be needed when AI is sophisticated enough to tell the algorithm with 100% accuracy what you want to watch next based on the viewing and sharing patterns themselves. Up until now, the like button has been the simplest way for content platforms to do that. But the end goal is to make it as easy and accurate as possible with whatever data is available. He went on to point out, however, that one reason the like button may always be needed is to handle sharp or temporary changes in viewing needs because of life events or situations. There are days when I want to be watching content that's a little bit more relevant to, say, my kids. Chen also explained that the like button may have longevity because of its role in attracting advertisers, the other key group alongside the viewers and creators. Because the like acts as the simplest possible hinge to connect those three groups. With one tap, a viewer simultaneously conveys appreciation and feedback directly to the content provider and evidence of engagement and preference to the advertiser. Another major impact of AI will be its increasing use to generate the content itself that is subject to people's emotional responses. I too rarely I don't use the like button as much as I might could, but it is, it's often because I don't actually, you know, like the thing. You know what I mean? Um, like sometimes you're watching a video and it's like, all right, that was okay, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? I don't want to see more of that. You just constructed a video that engaged me all the way to the end, but I don't actually like care or want to see it again. Um Ironically, one of my least favorite forms of content are when somebody makes a video and then somebody has like their face, doing like a React Andy type thing to the other video, and it's like, I it's just not good at it, right? You're not actually like for me when I see like React content, and I do React content, right? Some of my favorite creators on Twitch do React content. Um, but they're like adding commentary. They're adding some more flavor to the thing. A lot of the React content I see on something like Reels is like, oh, what's that? Oh, look what they're doing. Oh, wow. Oh, shoot. Oh, they're going to do that? Damn. And it's like, dude. M dash. Yeah, M dashing up in here. That's four M dashes in a single paragraph. Already, growing amounts of the content, both text and images, being liked by social media users are AI generated. Another problem that you have here is bots, right? Bots liking posts to artificially drive, um, engagement are going to throw this off, right? One wonders if the original purpose of the like button, motivate more users to generate content, will even remain relevant. Well, would the platforms be just as successful on their own terms if their human users ceased to make the posts at all? And like, you got to have the dislike button. If you have a like button, you got to have a dislike button, right? It's the clearest indicator of I want to see less of this shit, right? Like when I go on YouTube, right here, I'll show you right now. Right? If I go to home, I can click something, right? I click the three dots and I can say not interested or don't recommend this channel. Okay. Love this. Not sure entirely it works. Getting different feedback from different people on it, but at least it's something, right? But this, when I do a search for AI, right? And I'll set my filter for today. Okay. This three buttons, I can't do that. Because you see this? I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. Um, this is okay, even though I might not watch it. Don't want to see this. Don't want to see this. Don't want to see this. Don't want to see any of these. Right? Like there's so much that like right here is where I need um you know the ability to get rid of this shit because it gets in my way. Right? And I can filter for like 4 to 20 minutes, which will eliminate all those. But then I also miss out on stuff that I actually do want within that under 4 minute time period, like GT, right? We watch GT. We like GT. I like GT, even if we disagree on some stuff. That is like, so yeah. The like button, baby. Oh, yeah. And then the rest is like talking about various AI related stuff. But the interesting thing about this, right? Remember, what up, Iggy? Is that this was behind a paywall. This entire thing that we read and that which we didn't read is an excerpt from a book right? Like the button that changed the world, okay? So they put an excerpt from a book behind a paywall. Who does that serve? It doesn't serve Martin Reeves, Bob Goodson, or HBR Press, because this is an advertisement for this book, right? Here's actually like you could, click one of these things and go and buy the book, but you put it behind a paywall. I'm American as fuck, right? But I ain't paying for advertising. Uh, let's check in with our friends over at the Register and their nuanced AI takes. Generative AI is not replacing jobs or hurting wages at all, say economists. When we look at the economic outcomes, it really has not moved the needle. Well, that's good, right? All your concerns, the artists who are concerned that they're losing jobs to AI, people who are concerned that the layoffs from tech companies because they're using AI, none of that is true, say economists. There's a bit of a dichotomy in this position because sometimes you want the advertising for your product so people will search for your product. That's my point, Cosmic. you want you want to you want people to know about your product. At least that's the way that advertising used to work. Maybe advertising in 2025 has changed to the point where I don't understand advertising anymore. Instead of depressing wages or taking jobs, generative AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini have had almost no wage or labor impact so far, a finding that calls into question the huge capital expenditures required to create and run AI models. There it is. That's what I was looking. In a working paper released earlier this month, economists Anders Humlum and Emily Vestergaard looked at the labor market impact of AI chatbots on 11 occupations, covering 25,000 workers, 7,000 workplaces in Denmark between 2023 and 2024. I'm sure that we can use Denmark as a bellwether for the state of the world economy. Is there anything special about Denmark that might change the way we perceive things? Many of these occupations have been described as being vulnerable to AI. Accountants, customer service specialists, financial advisors, HR professionals, IT support specialists, journalists, legal professionals, marketing professionals, office clerks, software developers, teachers. I'm not shitting on Denmark. I'm asking the question, Ghost. Is there something about Denmark that may cause it to be a different economic environment than, I don't know, something like the United States? Right? Is there a difference that could be relevant? He asked knowingly. What do you want to know about Denmark? Half my family live in Denmark. No, I understand about Denmark. Like they have stronger safety nets. They have, I think they actually have like some form of like UBI or UBI related social safety net, something along those. But it's to make this. Yes, exactly, Cosmic. To make this headline claim implies that this is a study, a working paper that you can apply with a broad brush to all of economic activity that might be affected by AI. And I would posit that this is, in fact, questionable, right? Because it's a very specific environment with very specific details to it. Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah, no, I understand Ghost. But, like, even to make the claim, um, and again, I'm not necessarily talking about Anders and Emily. I'm talking about the register, right? The register is applying this claim with a broad brush, um, because this is a specific paper reflective of how AI adoption in Denmark is being reflected. We're doing media literacy. Maybe I should have prefaced that at the beginning. Excuse me. To be fair, here comes my pedantic ass. Did they put it behind a paywall or did they put it behind an account sign up? Creating a free account is not a paywall, but it's very annoying. Fair enough. Time to plug into a Wired subscription. You've run out of free articles. So maybe it only cost me, right? Because I've run out of free Wired articles, though I don't know how many Wired articles I've looked at. And I can get a subscription for $1 a month for 1 year. For $12. 12 whole dollars. Or only $12, depending on your point of view. You know what they say about positing? You make a Poe and yes. Probably not, Ghost. Probably not. Exactly, Cosmic. You're. That's why Denmark is not a good model to represent the world, right? You could even argue that maybe the United States isn't, because the United States is like at an additional extreme. Maybe something like Germany, even the UK, they do have some social safety nets, but they are also very capitalist and so on and so forth. Especially the UK looking with their current austerity process. AI chatbots have had no significant impact on earnings or recorded hours in any occupation. The report should concern the tech industry, which has hyped AI's economic potential while plowing billions into infrastructure meant to support it. Early this year, OpenAI admitted that it loses money per query even on its most expensive enterprise SKU, while companies like Microsoft and Amazon are starting to pull back on their AI infrastructure spending in light of low business adoption past a few pilots. And again, this it depends on whose numbers you look at, because we've looked at numbers that said 75% adoption, and we've looked at statements like this is no adoption. The problem isn't that workers are avoiding generative AI chatbots, quite the contrary, but they simply aren't yet equating to actual economic benefits. Again, my friend works for an Amazon reseller company, uses AI multiple times a day to assist in his job, uses ChatGPT, an AI chatbot, generates actual economic benefit. The adoption of these chatbots has been remarkably fast. Most workers in the exposed occupations have now adopted these chatbots. Employers are also shifting gears and actively encouraging it, but then when we look at the economic outcomes, it really has not moved the needle. The researchers looked at the extent to which company investment in AI has contributed to worker adoption of AI tools and also how chatbot adoption affected workplace processes. While firm led investment in AI boosted the adoption of AI tools, saving time for 64 to 90% of users across the studied occupations, chatbots had a mixed impact on work quality and satisfaction. The Economist found, for example, that AI chatbots have created new job tasks for 8.4% of workers, including some who do not use the tools themselves. In other words, AI is creating new work that cancels out some potential time savings from using AI in the first place. How much? That like if you're making a claim and you're saying you very clearly said new job test for 8.4% of workers, how many workers, what percentage of workers had time savings from using AI in the first place? Was it 8.4%? Was it higher? Was it lower? What up, Dojo? One very stark example that is close to home for me is that there are a lot of teachers who now say they spend time trying to detect whether their students are using ChatGPT to cheat on their homework. This is not relevant because you're talking about AI in the business place. What up, bro? AI in the business place, but then you're talking about students using ChatGPT to cheat on their homework. He also observed that a lot of workers now say they're spending time reviewing the quality of the AI output and writing prompts. Humlum argues that can be spun negatively as a subtraction from potential productivity gains, or more positively, in the sense that automation tools historically have tended to generate more demand for workers in other tasks. Yes. Yes. The AI will create new jobs. There it is. These new job tasks create new demand for workers, which may boost their wages if these are more high value added tasks, and so forth. It's a hell of a claim. It's a hell of a claim. It'd be a shame if the very next article that I clicked on did anything to disrupt that narrative. Duolingo adopts AI first strategy, will eliminate all contract workers. Language learning platform Duolingo has announced plans to go AI first, a strategy that will integrate AI into more of the company's workflow and eventually eliminate contract workers. AI is already changing how work gets done, writes Duolingo CEO Louis Von Ahn in a memo shared with employees and on the company's LinkedIn page. When there's a shift this big, the worst thing you can do is wait. In the memo, Von Ahn also explains the rationale behind Duolingo's AI pivot. He highlights how AI can benefit the company and compares the current AI wave to the rise of mobile apps in 12. To teach well, you need to create a massive amount of content, and doing that manually doesn't scale. One of the best decisions we made recently was replacing a slow manual content creation process with one powered by AI. 2012, we bet on mobile. While others were focused on mobile companion apps for website, we decided to build mobile first because we saw it as it was the future. We're making a similar call now In this time, the platform shift is AI. The announcement comes a year after Duolingo laid off close to 10% of its contractors after adopting AI for translation tasks. What? I just read an article about how AI was having no effect on any of that. Are you telling me that that article may be in some ways inaccurate? What? They'll also be using AI for hiring and performance reviews. Headcount will only be given if a team cannot automate more of their work. Being AI first means we will need to rethink much of how we work. Making minor tweaks to systems designed for humans won't get us there. We can't wait until the technology is 100% perfect. We'd rather move with urgency and take occasional small hits on quality than move slowly and miss the moment. As the adoption of AI intensifies, various job sectors are expected to suffer minor and major impacts. Duolingo's development comes right after AI researcher Temay Besaroglu announced a new startup called Mechanize to enable the full automation of all work. Translation, replace all human workers everywhere. It seems that we have conflicting statements. Fascinating. Just talked to a local company this morning that is creating a translation AI software to work on specific differences in languages like in India and Africa, will essentially replace on-the-ground translators. Yes. So many teachers are spending time figuring out if handed in homework is AI generated. Maybe they should contract someone who's good at that. Maybe. Imogen Heap launches AI music tools with AI platform Gen. I saw there was this video that Imogen Heap did where they had like a glove. Imogen Heap. Yeah. Shout out Imogen Heap. Imogen Heap glove. The Mimu gloves. There. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. So they've got these gloves, right? Where's the gloves? I'm going to guess right about here. Yeah.
I know about these gloves. So these gloves are called the Mimu gloves, and I've done a lot of touring in my life, and I've had to carry around a lot of gear with me. And sometimes I just want to do something really simple, like I want to record my voice, or I want to add some reverb, or I want to like tweak something that I'm playing on a synthesizer in order to add change a filter sound, like make something go whew, or maybe I want to pan something around the room. And in order to do that, if you're panning something around the room and you're not using the gloves, you have to use what's called a pan pot. And so you have to go left, right. And, when you're on stage, it's not the most expressive thing to do, to go like, eek, eek. So I was just hankering so much for be able to kind of reach into the software that I love inside my computer, but without having to stand next to it and having to look like I'm doing my emails when I'm making my music. So what we have here, and I'm just going to test it's working. I'm just got my, I'm not going to use my effects yet. So you might be able to see on the camera, but not you. But over here you can see fist, puppet hand, open hand, 1 finger point, 2 finger point, secret finger, pinch, and rock sign. And you can choose whatever postures you want. We've developed this software called Glover. And you can also see lots of things kind of moving around on the screen. And essentially, I'm like kind of like an aeroplane. I've got pitch, I've got yaw, and I've got roll. So combining these along with directions that you can also have up, down, left, right, kind of specific points that you can reach. And then you also have accents, so you can hear like this, and slap, which is quite fun. So
All right, show us.
so I'm going to sing you a song, but first of all, I'm just going to demonstrate.
Thank you.
I won't go into too much detail, but I've essentially got different scenes in here. So you can like have different mappings that will access different things inside my software. So basically, right now I am going to just like do this, and then I am recording my voice. Do this, and then so I've made a loop. Recording my voice. Like, and do this. You might hear it. So a bit over there. I am recording my voice. And a bit over there. And then hopefully I am recording. And then I'm going to delete that just by dropping my hand, so it's not there anymore. But I can record it again. Okay, there it's gone. And so when I often do this, and I actually did it in when we were rehearsing, and I forgot that I didn't have my gloves on, and I still did this movement, which has become second nature. So when I want a reverb, I go into secret finger. And then over here, secret finger is 0. And when I go over here, I've got a really long reverb. And I've got reverse. On my right hand. Oh, right hand. Right hand. Doesn't really sound like right hand. Anyway, so there we go. So now I'm gonna play you a song.
If you want to watch the rest of that video, here it is. You can watch it later. But mad respect for people who lean into technology as opposed to hiding from it. So to continue that, we can't let the only people who want to do it for profit or want to do it for their own gain be making the decisions. Grammy-winning artist and producer Imogen Heap has officially released a set of AI song generation tools through the AI music platform Gen. Heap and the company announced on Thursday, months after originally announcing their partnership late last year. Heap dropped 5 different style filters on Gen on Thursday, taking her songs Headlock, Good Night and Go, Just for Now, Last Night of an Empire, and What Have You Done to Me, and making them available for users to serve as the basis for new AI song generations. The style filters work by taking text-based prompts users feed into Gen's system, describing the type of song they want to create. Gen then takes that description and fuses it with whichever Heap song the user picked, creating a new track with the vibe of the selected style filter song. Each of Heap's style filters are available for purchase for $4.99 or $7.99 for a higher strength version, whatever that is, allowing users up to 90 minutes of creations that they're free to use as they please, except to train AI models. The company said they'll be adding style filters for more artists in the coming months, but didn't specify who would participate or when to expect their launches. So, real artists don't use AI, they have told me. So apparently, in spite of the opinions of some of chat here, Imogen Heap, Grammy-winning artist and producer, not a real artist. Not a real artist. Sorry. They use AI. Sorry. If you're looking to ignore AI, well, sorry. It's already happening, and this is not going away, she says. We need to find a way to live together with the technology, and the only way to do that is to do what we do for ourselves. Artists have to get involved. We can't let only the people who want to do it for profit or want to do it for their own gain to be making the decisions. Now, I have, like, in spite of being happy to see this, $4.99 or $7.99 for 90 minutes, I don't know, feels a little exploitive to me. right? Like, I feel like you're going to burn half of that just figuring out how to use the system. But I could be wrong. I'm making conclusions sight unseen. So I love A1 steak sauce. I don't give a shit. She's not generating music with AI. She's generating code to create a tool that makes her more expressive. It is distinctive from music generation. With the hand thing, I'm talking about this Gen AI music generator that you use like all the other song generators. Right? It's literally a new AI song generation. Dojo. Gen positions itself as an ethical means of AI music development, noting that the company only trains its software on its explicitly obtained license to use. It's a departure from other AI companies who have often trained their models without permission from rights holders, right? Rights holders you're fine. Are the majority of rights holders artists, or are they corporations? An important thing to keep in mind when you're talking about how you support copyright to protect artists. Noted. While arguing AI generation is a fair use case, and I completely agree. The music industry, the major record labels, sued two of the most prominent AI music generators, Suno and Udio, accusing the companies of powering their AI on thousands of unlicensed songs. And that lawsuit actually ruined some of the fun that I used to have with Suno because I can't do covers. What up, Ann? Depends on the contract the artist signed. Yes. Yes. It does depend on the contract the artist signed. It's important to do that statistic over time. I believe that more and more artists are owning their own publishing or at least have better contracts. It's a fair question to ask. I am more than happy to be corrected if anybody wants to dig up that data to indicate like where are we with who owns what, right? Oh yeah, no, I understand, Resute. I can't engage in that provision, right? I cannot um I mean, I can't license a song to do a cover. And even if I could, I can't license a song because I can't afford it. Which means I'm separated from artistic expression by a paywall. Even if I could, I'm a huge streamer. I'm a giant streamer. I'm the biggest, right? Hassan calls me and asks me how I'm so good. But the tool that I was using, Suno, no longer allows me to do that at all. You know what I mean? So it's not even an option that I could engage in if I could engage in it. So yeah. Do 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 do. Ethically, if my music has an essence of something that is being released into the world, it's just about recognition. And $4.99 or $7.99 for the higher strength version. It's not just about recognition. Because I'm more than happy to do that. I have done that. Right? If you go and you check out my AI music channel, there's a album by the Sundays called Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. And I made covers of that entire album. And I gave full, recognition to the artists and like that. I'm more than happy to recognize anybody. Right? If you did the song, I will give you full credit for creating the song. I just want the ability to create with that song. Oh, lots of people sign truly awful contracts. Yeah. It's actually like a whole meme. If you go, it's not your fault, Anne. I'm sure that if you were involved in such a way that you would be like, hey, let's let Globus make his music because it makes him happy. Oh yeah, well, that's why after Taylor Swift, Tay got out from under their contract, they had to re-record all their stuff so they could own it. That's a whole thing. Same with Def Leppard. Def Leppard had to re-record all their music in order to gain ownership of it. It's a whole fucking thing. It's a whole fucking thing. What do we got next? Science sleuths flag hundreds of papers that use AI without disclosing it. Telltale signs of chatbot use are scattered through scholarly literature. What up, Curiouser? This reality is bananas. Bananas. And in some cases, have disappeared without a trace. As of my last knowledge update, Regenerate Response. As an AI language model, these are just a few of the telltale signs researchers' use of artificial intelligence that science integrity watchers have found sprinkled through papers in the scholarly literature. Okay. To any scholarly researcher within the sound of my voice, if you're not proofreading your goddamn paper and as such eliminating any of these terms, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? Also, you want to see something neat? See what's not happening here? You see what happens here? Right? I go to this article. What's happening? Am I highlighting things? Isn't that cool? That's super cool. I go to nature. I can't even highlight anything. What's going on there? What terms? Podcast Andy? As my last knowledge update, Regenerate Response as an AI language model, anything that would indicate that you are just straight using an AI to do the thing. Generative AI tools such as ChatGPT have quickly transformed academic publishing. Scientists are increasingly use them to prepare and review manuscripts, and publishers have scrambled to create guidelines for their ethical use. What up, Brad? Although policies vary, many publishers require authors to disclose the use of AI in the preparation of scientific papers. Okay, so if the publisher requires this to be done and you don't do it, that's a violation of TOS. Remember, we talked about DeepSeek and OpenAI and a violation of TOS, right? Their terms of service. You agree to the terms of service. But science sleuths have identified hundreds of cases in which AI tools, hundreds of cases, AI tools seem to have been used without disclosure. You know what, actually, this might actually be something doesn't have anything to do with nature. It might have something to do with Firefox. Give me 1 second. Because I can't even click the hyperlinks on Firefox. This beat is bananas. Bananas. Is bananas. Yeah, there we go. So nature doesn't like Firefox. Good. Not a problem with nature. It's a problem with the relationship between the internet and Firefox. Also, Firefox might be scraping data from what I and now a vision. So maybe Firefox isn't the Firefox that it used. In some cases, the papers have been silently corrected. The hallmark AI phrases removed without acknowledgement. This type of quiet change is a potential threat to scientific integrity, say some researchers. Such changes have appeared in a small minority of journals. Also, like, how many papers are we talking about? We're talking about hundreds of papers. How many papers actually exist? But given that there are probably also many cases in which authors have used AI without leaving obvious signs, I am surprised by how much there is. Since 2023, integrity specialists have flagged papers with obvious signs of undisclosed AI use, such as those that contain the phrase regenerate response, generated by some chatbots based on large language models when a user wants a new answer to a query. What up, Matt? I might try Opera. Opera has AI built in. Such phrases can appear in articles when an author copies and pastes a chatbot's response. One of the first cases that Glenn recalls seeing was in a now retracted paper published in 2024 in Radiology Case Reports that contains the chatbot phrase, I am an AI language model. It was as blatant as it could possibly be. Somehow, this passed not only the author's eyes, but the editors, reviewers, typesetters, and everyone else who was involved in the production process. Come with SG. No. Yeah. Glenn has since found hundreds more papers with hallmarks of AI use, including some containing subtler signs, such as the words, certainly, here are, another phrase typical of AI chatbots. Created an online tracker, Academ AI. All right, I don't hate it. To log these cases. And has more than 700 papers listed. So 700. In an analysis of the first 500 papers flagged, released as a preprint in November, Glenn found that 13% of these articles appeared in journals belonging to large publishers. Arthur Bilecki, a researcher from the University of Economics at I'm sorry. I'm dishonoring my Polish ancestors. Yeah, in Poland, has also gathered examples of undisclosed AI use in papers, focusing on reputable journals. Study published in December, he identified 64 papers that were published in journals categorized by the Scopus academic database as being top quartile for their field. These are places where we'd expect good work from editors and decent reviews. Nature's news team contacted several publishers whose papers have been flagged by Glynn and Zelke, including Springer Nature, Taylor and Francis, and IEE. Nature's news team is editorially independent of its publisher, Springer Nature. All said that the flagged papers are under investigation. They also pointed to their AI policies, which in some cases do not require disclosure of AI use or require it only for certain uses. Springer, for example, states that AI-assisted copy editing, which includes changes made for readability, style, and grammar or spelling errors, need not be flagged. Kim Eggleton, head of peer review and research integrity at IOP Publishing in Bristol, UK, notes that although the publisher introduced a policy requiring authors to declare AI use in 2023, it changed the rule last year to reflect the ubiquity of the tools. While we encourage authors to disclose the use of AI, it is no longer mandated. We are focusing on ensuring the accuracy and robustness of the content, though through a combination of automated and human checks rather than prohibiting AI completely. And that's where it should be. Right? Oh, you used AI to do a thing? Is the information contained within the thing accurate? Not. And if it is, then what's your fucking problem? Amazon and Nvidia say, I don't want to allow ads. Do you know why? Do you know what the problem with the ads are? Is they put trackers in stuff. Do you think I wish to be tracked? Why do you want to track me? Sounds sussy. Amazon and Nvidia say AI data center demand is not slowing down. Amazon and Nvidia, wait, didn't we read another article that Amazon was something less AI something? Amazon and Nvidia executives said Thursday that the construction of artificial intelligence data centers is not slowing down, as recession fears have some investors questioning whether tech companies will pull back on some of their plans. There's been really no significant change, Kevin Miller, Amazon's vice president of global data centers, said at a conference organized by the Ham Institute for American Energy. We continue to see very strong demand, and we're looking both in the next couple of years as well as long term and seeing the numbers only going up. Rufus, oh dude, Dojo. If the AI overlord is named Rufus, that's gonna be a problem. The comments run contrary to worrying buzz building on Wall Street about tech companies changing data center build-out plans. Wells Fargo analysts said Monday that Amazon Web Service is pausing some leases on data center commitments, citing sources. The magnitude of the pause was unclear, the analyst said, but the comments raised fears that Amazon was doing something similar to Microsoft's recent move to pull back on some early stage projects. Miller said there's been little tea leaf reading and extrapolating to strange results about Amazon plans. This, you want to talk about how does the stock market work? Well, you read the tea leaves and extrapolate strange results. One of the things that ChatGPT could do to improve the user experience is to present the requested response, such as M dashes, such as rephrase sentence or rewritten paragraph in a clearly separated box, ideally with a copy button. Currently, the model often includes the requested content after an introductory phrase or explanation, which can make it harder to isolate and copy just the part. I mean, fair, yeah. What up, Johnny Prophet? How you doing, homie? Big vibes, Pharaoh, big vibes. We haven't seen a pullback, Parker said. Who's Parker? Yeah, Kevin Miller. Josh Parker. Sorry, I missed this sentence. NVIDIA is also not seeing signs of a slowdown, said Josh Parker, the chipmaker's senior director of corporate sustainability. We haven't seen a pullback, Parker said. The advent China's artificial intelligence startup DeepSeek sparked a sell-off in power stocks earlier this year as investors worried that its AI model is more efficient and data centers might need as much energy. I think you meant might not need as much energy as originally anticipated. Nobody wants to proofread anymore. But Parker says NVIDIA sees compute and energy demand only rising due to AI, describing the reaction to DeepSeek as knee-jerk. Anthropic. Oh, I hate it here. I do. Anthropic co-founder Jack Clark said 50 gigawatts of new power capacity will be needed by 2027 to support AI. That's the equivalent of about 50 new nuclear plants. What up, X1011? Anthropic and other AI companies, what we're seeing is tremendous growth in the need for new baseload power. We're seeing, Pharaoh, unprecedented growth. We almost did it. We're doing so well. You kids like robots? Oh yeah, no, it has to do with the alerts not being leveled, and being, call me lazy, you can call me disrespectful, you can call me busy, but having the time to level all the alerts to each other is not something that I have been able / willing to do at this point. And any of you who call me out for my alerts being like too loud or anything like that, who also spend any time in as an active participant in Redolin Thoughts chat, can shut the fuck up. Because I've seen what you do over there. Robotic system zeroes in on objects most relevant for helping humans. A new approach could enable intuitive robotic helpers for household, workplace, and warehouse settings. That used to be my bit, Ghost. That used to be my bit. The original theme of my show was old man yells at clouds about whatever. Some historically relevant to current thing I used to. Again, let's just say I'm glad I didn't have my coffee cup in my hand at the time that alert went off. Keeps you people awake. And also, that.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
And I told you,
I love the young people.
For a robot, the real world is a lot to take in. Making sense of every data point in a scene can take a huge amount of computational effort and time. Using that information to then decide how to best help a human is an even thornier exercise. Now, MIT roboticists have a way to cut through the data noise to help robots focus on the features in a scene that are most relevant for assisting humans. Their approach, which they aptly dub relevance, enables a robot to use cues in a scene, such as audio and visual information, to determine a human's objective and then quickly identify the objects that are most likely to be relevant in fulfilling that objective. The robot then carries out a set of maneuvers to safely offer the relevant objects or actions to the human. The researchers demonstrated the approach with an experiment that simulated a conference breakfast buffet. Set up a table with various fruits, drinks, snacks, and tableware, along with a robotic arm outfitted with a microphone and camera. Applying the new relevance approach, they showed that the robot was able to correctly identify a human objective and appropriately assist them in different scenarios. In one case, the robot took in visual cues of a human reaching for a can of prepared coffee, the thing we have now, and quickly handed the person milk and a stir stick. In another scenario, the robot picked up on a conversation between two people talking about coffee and then offered them a can of coffee creamer. Cans of coffee. Is that this nitro? Coca-Cola is not making coffee now, are they? It's just like a regular ass can of Coke, right? Overall, the robot was able to predict the human's objective with 90% accuracy and to identify relevant objects with 96% accuracy. The method also improved the robot's safety, reducing the number of collisions by more than 60% compared to carrying out the same task without applying the new method. This approach of enabling relevance could make it much easier for a robot to interact with humans. A robot wouldn't have to ask a human so many questions about what they need. It would just actively take information from the scene to figure out help. It's cool. Huge fan of robots. When they do energy projections, is there any assumption that the calculations will get more efficient, both hardware-wise and algorithmically? 50 gigawatts seems like a very concerning amount of power. To me, it is not a very concerning amount of power. I am of the opinion that we have spent the last 20, 30 years, maybe, not appropriately ramping up the amount of available power that we would need. And we did that because it wasn't profitable to do. As far as where their energy projections come from, I'm going to guess they pulled them out of their ass. Like, because there's a whole bunch of questionable assumptions that you have to make. What up, Fighting Gale? Bong bong. I understood that reference. I don't want a TV remote. I just want the robot to detect my mood and pick the thing I should be watching, pipe that directly into my eyeballs, and advertise the most important products subliminally into said movie. Yeah, in before Jevons Paradox, right? Why is nobody talking about Jevons Paradox anymore? People talked about it for like 2 weeks and then we stopped talking about it. I wonder why that is. What's next? Low. There we go. Here is a pod again. Alibaba launches open source Qwen 3 model that surpasses OpenAI O1 and R1. Chinese e-commerce and web giant Alibaba's Qwen team has officially launched a new series of open source AI large language models known as Qwen 3 that appear to be among the state-of-the-art for open models and approach performance of proprietary models from the likes of OpenAI and Google. The Qwen 3 series features 2 mixture of expert models and 6 dense models for a total of 8 exclamation point new models. The mixture of experts approach involves having several different specialty model types, combined into one, with only those relevant models to the task at hand being activated when needed in the internal settings model. Parameters. Popularized by open source French AI startup Mistral. According to the team, the 235 billion parameter version of Qwen 3, codenamed A22B, outperforms DeepSeek's open source R1 and OpenAI's proprietary O1. Did I say O1? I meant R1 for DeepSeek and O1 OpenAI on key third-party benchmarks, including Arena Hard, phrasing, with 500 user questions in software engineering math, and nears the performance of the new proprietary Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. Overall, the benchmark data positions Qwen 3 235B A22B as one of the most powerful publicly available models, achieving parity or superiority relative to major standards. Qwen models are trained to provide so-called hybrid reasoning or dynamic reasoning capabilities, allowing users to toggle between fast, accurate responses and more time-consuming and compute-intensive reasoning steps for more difficult questions in science, math, engineering, and other fields. This is an approach pioneered by Noose Research and other AI startups and collectives. When 3, users can engage the more intensive thinking mode using the button marked as such on the Qwen chat. This is fine, right? This is cool. Everybody's doing it. What I and others, I think Michael is one of them, would like to see happen is where the model decides, right? Or the chatbot decides, right? Chatbot takes a view at what question you're asking and provides the appropriate use of the appropriate tool to provide you with the best outcome. AI needs a tank, a healer, and a damage dealer model. Yes. Why not? I've tried so hard, come so far, but in the end, I'm subject to your copyright. This is from Johns Hopkins University. Sepsis detection platform prevents thousands of deaths. Remember that other article we read where, AI wasn't really providing a huge impact and blah, 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 blah? Tell all your streamers to just at me, all the anti AI stream. And when they say something that's demonstrably false, tell them to talk. I mean, am I not easy to talk to? I don't have many streamers in the chat today, but I feel like I'm easy to talk to. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Pharaoh. You're not allowed to have this because AI gets hot or something. Dr. Yasmin. Hey, what up, Doc? Yeah, no, like, yes. Doc, we watched a video last week. It was a couple of Linux bros talking about copyright and AI, and they didn't really get around to talking about the AI portion, but I didn't need it, but it was a nice 20-minute synopsis of what you and I took like 3 hours to talk about like the history of copyright. Like they laid it out quite nicely. Even if in the end they were they were fans of copyright for some reason. But yeah. All I'm saying, y'all, is Dr. Yasmin knows what he's talking about. What up, Reed? XYZ streamer. Globus wants you to challenge him in the marketplace of ideas. There's no challenge. Not a challenge. I just don't want you to be wrong about shit. Right? Copyright is trash and should be abolished, says copyright scholar and PhD actual doctor, Dr. Yasmin. Sepsis detection platform prevents thousands of deaths. Johns Hopkins engineer Suchi Saria has developed an AI-powered platform that is reducing sepsis mortality rates by 18% in dozens of hospitals across the U.S., a significant advance in addressing a deadly immune response that claims about 270,000 lives each year. Saria's targeted real-time early warning system, or TRUES, integrates electronic health records with machine learning to help doctors diagnose sepsis cases nearly 2 hours earlier than traditional methods. Sepsis is easily missed because many of its symptoms, such as fever and confusion, are common in other medical conditions, she says. And in severe sepsis cases, an hour's delay in identification can be the difference between life and death. Sepsis is brutal. When people get sepsis, it is brutal. It is that kind of thing that needs to be addressed literally as quickly as possible. As described in Nature Medicine, the system's earlier identification improves patient outcomes, reducing average hospital stays by half a day and intensive care unit use by 10%, since its deployment in 2023. XYZ streamer, Globus says you suck. He's always right. You're an uncultured swine of a human being, and that you should donate 500 gift subs to their stream right now. I wouldn't say they suck. Yeah, so like a bunch of you have had like sepsis enter the chat, right? Like you've been in that range, you know what I mean? And yeah, no, like it, like the number of people who healthcare system is generally good. You should go see your doctor and everything else like that. But the number of people who like die of complications that not the thing that they were in the hospital for, but some additional like MRSA or sepsis or any of these other things, and reducing those, it's huge. Huge. Schurz has achieved a 90% adoption rate by seamlessly integrating into clinicians' workflows, leveraging comprehensive medical record data. And this is another, like, I understand the arguments against digitizing record data. I just disagree with them. I think that the upside outweighs the downside, whatever downside you might have, right? Like, how happy are you to fill out another form when you have any medical procedure? You've got all my information. Why are you asking me questions about shit that should be in the system? You typed shit in the computer the last time I was here. Why are we doing the same shit again? Now, to be fair, my doctor is already on top of that shit, but he's on another level. Am I yelling at AI? No, I'm yelling at the humans. The humans are the problem. Humans are exhausting. There is a streamer I would love for you to talk to sometime. They're really charitable and good faith, even though I disagree with them on AI. Probably the second most good faith person on the internet next to Globus. Hit me up in, Discord. Like, you know me, Reed. Like, and all of you, if you know a streamer that you think should have a conversation, I am more than happy to have a conversation. And I am not so streamer brained that I even need to have a fucking conversation on stream. Though I think there's a whole lot of benefits to having a public discourse. If you've seen the way I talk to anybody about this, even people who disagree with me, like, we're here to have a conversation, right? That is the goal. But if somebody's not comfortable with that, if somebody's like, well, you just want to farm me for it ain't about that. It ain't about that at all, right? I've had conversations with streamers about stuff that other jackasses would have turned into content, and we had to talk about a thing because the thing needed to be talked about. That's the priority. It's about education, it's about providing information, and it's about making sure that people understand the nature of what the hell is going on, right? I am not here to farm people for fucking content. A waste of fucking time. Do I really know you? Who is Globus anyways? Is me. It's literally me. Literally me. Does it say where it was implemented in 2020? If it's working, that's great, but I wonder if people outsource their responsibility to AI, patients may get neglected. But that's what's happening now, and it sounds like this has some better health outcomes. Yeah, I am less concerned about the idea that patients might get neglected, right? Because yes, patients are already like, and it's a combination of issues, mostly due to the understaff, overwork of like nursing staff and even doctors to an extent. Like people are excessively challenged because of the for-profit system, which makes it very difficult for them to actually engage in the process of healthcare. And so I'm not concerned about AI being used to neglect patients. I'm like, there's so much of a gap between that and like actually getting somewhere near the actual capacity of the actual people who want to, do good works, right? I have very rarely, like, it's possible that there are people in healthcare who do it for the money, mostly like I'm talking about nurses and whatnot, but not really. It's not like a super high paying job. My mother was was an LPN. She was a psychiatric nurse, but like, or was she an RN? I don't know. She was a psychiatric nurse, and so I've seen like that firsthand. Right? She worked fucking second shift. She worked third shift. Like, you want to talk about brutal? Third shift at a psychiatric institution is brutal. Nearly 1 of 4 patients who are admitted to hospitals in the U.S. will experience harm, according to a study published Wednesday in the New England Journal of Medicine 2023 study. Hospital safety need to continue to improve. All surgeries and medications have risks. They do, but we should actively be working to reduce them, Dojo, is the point that I would say on that. Is it true that 250,000 plus people in the United States die each year in hospitals due to preventable medical errors? I think I've heard something like that, so I wouldn't doubt it. I thought that the goal was to listen to you muse about AI and then to make us feel nice, cozy as the robots take over. No, 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 no. I'm teaching you how to say please and thank you to the AI. So when the inevitable AI/robot takeover occurs, you'll be put into the preserve for humans rather than, just exterminated. Streamer XYZ, we need to talk, and by we, I mean you and my friend Globus. I mean, just saying. I like trying to know what's going on, and you should. Like, you should. Nursing is a hard job. It is. We'll be in the zoo, right? 2023 Johns Hopkins study, 795,000 Americans die or are permanently disabled each year due to misdiagnosis across all clinical settings. It seems like an insane number. It really does. It really does. Justin makes fun of me for using manners with Siri. I tried to have a talk with Justin, right? What up, Kensai? Shout out Kensai. Kensai, thank you, homie. I saw the other day you hit level 70. Exclamation point mushroom. Join like the coolest people in this community. Kensai, Old Lobster, Michael, me, a couple others whose names didn't pop up, playing the mushroom game. Fucking, it's cute and it's fun, and he's a little mushroom, and you can do stuff. It's not bad. It's not a slog. We don't have a guild. You want to make one? You want to be the guild master of that thing? Where the hell were we? A framework to report AI's flaws. Pointing to white hat hacking, AI policy experts recommend a new system of third-party reporting and tracking of AI's flaws. As the user of today's artificial intelligence tools know, AI often hallucinates. offering erroneous information as fact, or reveals issues in its data or training. But even the best intentioned user can find it difficult to notify AI developers of flaws in their models, and harder still to get them addressed. Now, a team of computer scientists and policy experts at Stanford University, MIT, and a dozen other institutions is proposing a new way for these outside third-party users to report flaws and track whether and how AI developers address them. In the paper, In-House Evaluation is Not Enough, Ford's Robust Third-Party Flaw Disclosure for General-Purpose AI. What up, Hydron? Published on Preprint Server Archive, the research team proposes a broad framework for responsible third-party discovery and disclosure of AI flaws, and for developers to report their efforts to address them. So, do I like this idea? On one hand, absolutely. On one hand, the idea of being able to report, experiences that you have that are flaws with the system sounds like a great idea. Hey, thank you, Kensai. However, there's a thing called bears. And certain people have taken to VAERS to abuse its intent. And I have a feeling that should we create a tool whereby regular folk can report the flaws with AI, that certain people might abuse the system to leverage a political agenda. And again, my example is bears. We're at a moment where these AI systems are being deployed to hundreds of millions of people at a time, but the infrastructure to identify and fix flaws at AI companies lags far behind other fields like cybersecurity and software development. In those more mature fields, there's a robust culture of reporting and remediation of flaws, even so-called bug bounties, in which well-intentioned external parties are paid to find and report flaws. So far, such a collaborative culture is not yet developed in the AI field. Okay. Burn Devin 29, I'm going to go with. Correct me if I'm wrong. How much do you get paid to be a professional troll? What up, Tiny? If a tree falls on your ex in the woods and nobody hears it, you should probably still get rid of the chainsaw, just in case. Fair enough. Fair enough. Flaws in AI are different from the security gaps of cybersecurity or bugs in the software industry. They can range from the aforementioned hallucinations to problems in the data, such as racial bias in medical imaging. Often these flaws can only be discovered once models are live and in use by millions of users. I was in NOAA's, don't have a job yet, currently for recreational purposes. So you are an ambitious amateur troll. And I respect the grind. I do. So I was in Noah's the other day. And he was talking about, I can't remember the phrase, but there's a phrase, a nonsense phrase that shows up in the AI data sets due to a mistranslation, right? There was something that was translated from Farsi, and it was either like, and if you've seen Farsi, it's like, lines and swoops and then dots, right? And it either had one too few dots or one too many dots. It was either like 2 dots when it was supposed to be 1 or the opposite. And this led to a mistranslation, which then went back into the data set, and the paper that he was reading made the claim that it was like stuck in there now. There was no way to get it out. And I don't buy that. I don't believe that anything is stuck in a particular data set and you can't get it out. All the evidence seems to be contrary. But that's an example of an unintentional flaw, right? Like, nobody, it's not a bias thing. It's not a like a glue on pizza thing. It's not somebody actively attempting to damage the AI system. Just a thing that can occur because of a flaw in the process, right? A mistranslation. So having a solution to that kind of thing, or a reporting tool, not a solution, a reporting tool. What up, James? Glue on pizza? Why, did they run out of pineapple? Pineapple on pizza is actually good. If you combine the sweetness of pineapple with the saltiness of a good ham or prosciutto and some bacon, right? And I don't like doing that with the tomato sauce. Yeah, you got to go with the white pizza. So it's white pizza, bacon, ham, and pineapple. That, so good. So good. And anyone who feels otherwise, well, you have the taste buds of a child. I don't give a fuck if you like pineapple on your pizza or don't. Oh. So first, they offer standardized AI.
There was a bunch of nothing, gibberish. Flip flobical, flip tobological, flip snobicals. It was a bunch of gibberish, bro.
For real though. Chicken pizza, right? Like chicken finger or like just chicken. Barbecue chicken pizza is good. Like, I live in the pizza capital of the world. Western New York is the pizza capital of the world. Best pizza. If you've never had dill pickle pizza, you don't know what you're missing, right? It's another taste experience. We make jerk chicken, fucking phenomenal, right? I'm with it. I am with whatever kind of pizza that you want to come up with, because we do it all here. And it's the right thickness and the right flavors, and it's the right combination of all the things. And then New York pizza is also good. And that generally goes downhill quickly from there. First, and of course, what is it? Altoona pizza? Don't Google that. You'll hate yourself. Altoona pizza. Nothing good about Altoona. First, they offer a standardized. Is that the yes? New Haven pizza? What is New Haven? See, now we've gone off the rails. We've gone off the rails. We're not talking about AI anymore. We're talking about pizza. Connecticut. What the fuck does Connecticut know about pizza? Who hurt you, Dr. Yasmin? Like this looks okay.
I just met you. This is crazy. Here's my number. Call me baby.
Thank you for the follow. This looks acceptable. This is greasy as fuck. You can just tell it by looking at it. Pepperoni is not made of chicken. Pepperoni is, what is it, beef and pig? I think. Might just be pig. And spices. This is kind of fine. This is alright. I know how you end up with that. But this other weird shit, like what is this? This is this is a crime. Oh. We're having chickaroni. All right. Let's do here. One more article and then we wrap. Another example of a fake artist doing fake chard. No, it's not supposed to be. It's called, that's burnt. Yeah, Pharaoh, we're not even going to talk about Pizza Crunch. That is a whole other thing, right? Like we have a tradition in the United States called fair food, which is where you take something and deep fry it. And you can apply that to anything, right? Like that's a whole other thing. What up, beef? But no, it's burnt. It literally has carcinogens in it, Doc. But I suppose it's fair, Doc, because you're from Australia, where like everything is trying to kill you. So I suppose that the pizza actively trying to kill you is just par for the course. Johnny, you don't grill pizza. Well, no, you can actually grill pizza. So. I am sure that Johnny would grill us a fine pizza. Even if I asked for pineapple on it. Merging design and computer science in creative ways. Mad Fellow, love it. Alexander Hitet Kyaw, I'm going with. Connects humans, machines, and the physical world using AI and augmented reality. The speed with which technologies hit the market is nothing compared to the speed with which talented researchers find creative ways to use them, train them, and even turn them into things we can't live without. One such researcher is MIT Mad Fellow. I am jealous. I want to be a mad fellow. Alexander Hitet Kyaw, correct me if I'm wrong on that pronunciation, a graduate student producing dual master's degrees in architectural studies, in computation, and in electrical engineering and computer science. This dude, he is a mad fellow. I like him. Kyaw takes technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and robotics and combines them with gestures, speech,
and object recognition to create human AI workflows that have the potential to interact with our built environment, change how we shop, design complex structures, and make physical things. One of his latest innovations is Curator AI, for which he and his MIT graduate student partners took first prize, 26K in OpenAI products and cash, at the MIT AI conference's AI Build Generative Voice AI Solutions week-long hackathon at MIT, with final presentations held last fall in New York City. Working with Kia were Richa Gupta and Bradley Bunch. Bradley Bunch. Nitish Sagar and Michael Wan, all from MIT Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. Tet Cha. So the H is silent and Cha. So Tet Cha. I can be taught. Curator AI is designed to streamline online furniture shopping by providing context-aware product recommendations using AI and AR. Platform uses AR to take the dimensions of a room with locations of windows, doors, and existing furniture. Users can then speak to the software to describe what new furnishings they want, and the system will use a vision language AI model to search for and display various options that match both the user's prompts and the room's visual characteristics. Okay, so we talked earlier about the thing that said AI is having no impact on people's jobs. The aspects of interior design specifically related to what he's talking about here and what this system does, this is a job. This is a whole ass job that people do. This is a career. Fuck. You can make a career in lighting. And I'm not talking about lighting in the sense of that might not work, Kensei. Lighting is just like you put a lamp on a fucking table. I'm talking about lighting, right? There's an appropriate amount of lumens and color balance and all this kind of stuff. And it's like a whole career where you can just do lighting. And my man Alexander is out here, in case that didn't work, is out here destroying an industry. It happens. It happens. Sometimes people come and go, and sometimes they just get lost. Like, it can be really challenging, like, not having. Like, the name of my Discord server is the Borg members, which was a joke. But like, I kind of also feel it should say like Globus's Discord server, right? To make it super easy. Though I do use consistent logo, right? The recursive frog logo. I am chairman of the Borg and also chief science officer of the culture. Chad elected me the other day. All right. That's going to be it. We will be back tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow is only a day away. We're going to raid Marquise. Stick around for the raid. You know how this works. back at 11 tomorrow. And again, the schedule is gonna continue for a month. Also, if you're a fan of James from the internet and you like to go into that stream, you should come to my stream first, and I will get you there. Right? I will get you. I'm like your Uber. Right? I am the JFTI Uber. I will get you there. And in the meantime, you can learn about AI, robots, and pineapple on pizza. And also New Haven Pizza, which just send all your therapy bills to Dr. Yasmin. And in the meantime, drink your water, eat some food, take your meds if you've forgotten. Always remember that Shaggy loves you. So do I. Be great.